Right.
Okay.
Nothing. What we're gonna do? We're gonna
I
take it
promise.
back.
Hey, you know what? Listen. To be fair, you know, I promise I won't play the Michael Parkinson. You're lucky I ain't got my computer on. Yeah. You should have some background noises. But just other people clapping. I know. You know what? Shut up. Let me chill.
Right. Maddex, where was you born and raised?
I was born in Edgware. Well, they'd say North London, but I'll be lying. It is actually Middlesex. Raised in. It's kind of weird actually because we was moving from different places, so I could actually say raised in Northwest 10, Kensal Green.
Right. Okay.
Raised in Harrow. You know what I mean? And then obviously it's the two areas combined sort of thing. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
So what music was you listening to as you was growing up?
Oh man. Oh, see. I was listening to you know what? As I'll tell you, if we're talking about growing up in the kitchen with your mum cooking breakfast every morning before you go to school, then I was into a lot of pop tunes. We had the radio on top of the fridge, and there was a lot of pop music was playing at the time. And for the life of me, I can't remember. I don't even think I remember. It might have been Radio 1 or something like that, but usually it's a lot of pop music. You know what I mean? Jerry Rafferty, Elton John, do you know what I mean? The Beatles even. Yeah, there was just a lot of music. A lot of like pop music back then for me, which I still love to this day. To me. So
what inspired you to get into the or should I say, what age did you start DJing at?
What age? Oh wow. No,
roughly.
I could say my step pops. All right, rest in peace, Mr. RG. He basically he used to buy a lot of music. He was well within to I mean, our family in general was quite a big family. And a lot of my uncles are into, I won't say wasn't into, was into, I'll say they still are into, because they are avid record collectors. I have quite a few of my uncles that collect music over the years, and for me, that was the first clash. My stepdad will clash with one of my uncles when it comes to music. He'll bring his music around and say, yeah, me up this tune, and so on. So that's the first clash, through my family, basically. But as I said, my stepdad coming, he introduced me to a lot of soul music, a lot of, you know what I mean, going way back. Nina Simone, he'd sit there with his packet of Rothmans and he'd be smoking and be playing Nina Simone album, just sitting there. Me and him would be sitting in the front room and just listening to it. I'd say he was my biggest influence.
Right.
That's what made me wanted to get into what was going on with you know, with the music. I just wanted to play music just like he did. He'd sat here just like I'm sitting here now. He'd have his equipment behind him, he'd have his cigarettes and whatever have you, and he enjoyed music. And I wanted that. I started playing parties at an age of possibly about 11, 12, something like that. And I started to play music at parties and everything. It's mostly family parties. It wasn't like going out there. It was just mostly family parties. And whether my stepdad would allow me to touch his equipment, that would be the other thing. You know what I mean? Because he'd lock. I couldn't just go in there and do it. He'd lock the door. You know what I mean? He'd go to work. Yeah, I'm going to work. Can't get in. Door's locked.
It's funny you say that, because when I was speaking to DJ Bones last week, his brother, he used to take the amp out of the fuse so his brother couldn't use the turntables.
It was deep like that. It was deep. It was real deep. They were very. I mean, the elders were very fussy about their music. You know what I mean? And it was. I couldn't just walk into the front room and go and play music, because we had separate front rooms. We had one for the music room and one for the dining room and all the rest of it. He'd lock it. He wouldn't allow anyone to go in there. And if it was a misstep by him, that was it. Yeah. His EQs, he had one of them big EQs, like at 24 knobs on it, the front.
Don't mess with the EQs.
Oh, no. Hey, listen, trust me. If you look at the back here, I've got about 3 of them running at the minute. Yeah. So I love my EQs, trust me. that's what brought me into it, because he had like this big silver thing with a whole
You're on
set of
about
knobs in it.
separate. You're on
Huh?
about a separate one, ain't you?
Yeah, separate. Yeah, separate EQ, silver, like silver coloured and everything. And yeah, had that. And I looked at it and I thought, I want to mess around and see what he does. And he was intent. Sometimes I'd sit there and I'd watch him for hours, and he'd be moving stuff, and he'd be like, maybe that sound like, and he'd be moving stuff, and I wouldn't know what he was doing until when I went in there and I went in, I got some real licks for that. But anyway, that's another story. I ain't gonna get into all of that. Yeah. Yeah, I was intrigued. You know what I mean? More than anything, I was intrigued. I was like, I mean, obviously the sound, there was so much music that he was playing. It was so diverse in what he was dealing with. In terms of back in their day, it was always calypso and soca and merengue. All them kind of music would be in the house. And then there would be a time where we'd sit and we would actually listen to Tony Williams. I don't know if he's alive or not. You know, Tony Williams used to have a radio station.
That's my uncle, mate.
Tony, is he still alive?
No, he's not, mate.
Well, rest in peace, still. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, because he's. Listen, I used to sit and listen to him. From 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, he had a 2-hour show on Radio London every Sunday.
Cool. Radio London.
Yeah, he was about that. That was in the era of Tony Blackburn and Steve Walsh. All of those guys were just running it at the minute. You know what I mean? So
R.I.P. Steve Walsh.
You know what I mean? Steve Walsh. R.I.P. Man. That was a serious. That is his last tune. Kind of. Every time I play I Found Love, and it's always him that's in my mind of that.
Yeah.
Weird as it may seem, he was literally. He basically weaved himself into the culture that we knew him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Same with Tony Blackburn. Anyone who's got music at all will know about these two people, giants, as far as I'm concerned, because they brought soul music home. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, there was a lot of people like that brought it. You had your JFMs, and then you had your Kiss FMs and all the rest of it back in the day. But Tony Blackburn, Tony Williams, and Steve Walsh. Those were the cats. Oh, Steve Martin as well. Steve Martin. He used to come on. He used to be one of the regulars on Radio London every morning at 9 to 11. He did like the after breakfast thing. He was great. He was Steve Martin. Great. He was another one. I'm surprised people don't remember him. I'm like, really?
I used to listen to Radio London, the rap show on there. Can't think of his name. Not Westwood. Not Westwood.
No, not Westwood.
The other dude, man.
Yeah, it can't. You see, I'm
old. It weren't Dave Pearce. It might have been Dave Pearce.
It wasn't Dave Pearce. Dave Pearce was. Oh, he did play He did play what did he play? Because I know he was into the house as well after a while.
Yeah, I can't. It was the equivalent to 10 Westwood that used to play Radio London. He's passed away a couple of years back.
What?
I can't think for life.
I can't think. But that's something I'm going to look into. That's something I'm definitely look into. But so, like I said, those are the areas that basically influenced me. Right.
So, like you know, we've chewed the fat before because we got mutual friends and this and that. So, when did you start getting into DJing? So what year was you on the? Because I know I'll get onto this in a bit. So you know, what era was it? Like, was it 88 or stuff like that when you started DJing?
Oh wow, it was
like into that when you started getting into that actual thing.
I was actually getting involved in. So I think it was a lot later. Well, there's things that was covering. For that period, from the period when I was young to the period where I actually got into this whole system of good old-fashioned urban music. You know what I mean?
The movement.
The movement.
The movement.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the movement. So, you know what? To be fair, all of that, I really wasn't I wasn't really the type that actually cared about the surroundings of the movement. I wasn't really about that. I just thought that's a great tune. I either cop that or find some way to get hold of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just appreciate it for what it is. Yeah, I mean, how I got into it, other than doing the family parties and everything else, I think more so to the point I started to do tapes. I started to put tapes out because back then there wasn't really any scope for getting. I mean, look, we weren't rich or nothing. We didn't have that much money as we were growing up.
No.
You know that already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we then have to think about other ways to maybe get the masses to enjoy what you're doing. So there was tapes. I mean, obviously the fact that growing up now, we're talking about my parents were like strictly into, look, get your schoolwork done and everything there, you know, you ain't got time for messing around with music and everything there. But it was always at the back of my mind. There's always something, yeah, music is something for me. I didn't know why. I didn't know how. Going back slightly, I used to have a little gramophone. I can't even, it's one of them square ones. You know, you open it, it's like a suitcase. You open it up.
Yeah.
Not like the ones we got now. There's a bigger ones. And with a little plug that goes with it, and it's the usual thing. And you can have these records to catch up about 7 or 8 different records at a time through this one.
Yeah. I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that one? So I had one of them. And I used to teeth my mum's records. Mum had like a big box of records, and I grabbed that. This is the time I just used to just have that, and I used to play the music off it.
Yeah.
One of the tunes, I'll give you a joke, right? One of the tunes that back then, remember, what was it? Serial Killers. Serial Killers did a tune called Selector. Yeah. Selector. Yeah. Yes, man. Play a nice tune.
They said, all right.
Yes. Now, at the beginning of that tune, right? And I said, props to Serial Killers, man. Big up Serial Killers.
Yeah.
I had one record. It's called Come Down on the Great Records label. It starts off at the beginning. There's a lot more dialogue before they've obviously taken the
down. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot more dialogue with all of that. And I managed to, and I couldn't for the life of me. Every time I heard that tune, I think, I know, why do I know? And it suddenly occurred to me that Mum had the tune. Mum's got like a whole heap of different 7-inches and I come across it. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's weird. And never understood where they got that sample from. Now I knew. And that was one of the musics that I had when I was a kid. And it was like, I used to have like 7 of them piled up, play the tune, watch this thing go around and play it. And I suppose that's what kind of inspired me more, and a lot of it's to do with my mother's music as well. All the little 7-inches she's got, all the rest of it. In terms of when did I actually start getting involved in all of this, it was very, very much later. Very much later.
Right.
Because it wasn't something that there wasn't any real scope. And I said it was just a situation that I just had to do tapes. Get tapes out there and just hand out tapes. And it wasn't no CDs, it was just tapes. And that's what we did. It was C60s, C90s, the 120s. Yeah, I mean, them ones. But the 120s, yeah, man, exactly. TDK, yeah, I mean, the list goes on, bruv. Yeah, the list goes on. But these things that I used to, you know what I mean, used to try and see if I can deal with. There wasn't really, like I said, there wasn't really any scope to get involved in something like that. It wasn't something that I was really thinking about, really, to be fair.
See, the thing with that is like, I know myself, because you have to have a blagging way to get on the station, or you have to have people that are on the station. You know, we chewed the fat about this not so long ago, didn't we? So it's...
I listen, look, all due respect to the elder gods, right? Now, as far as I'm concerned, it was what it was. This is not like I'm complaining about it or you know, having a little gripe. It's not. It's just how it was. You know what I mean? The scene was built on somebody's individuality, and sometimes the individuality of them may not be able to reach out to the whole world and say, "Yeah, come on board." He's just doing him. You know what I mean? And in the process of him doing him, he's created this whole vast network of great music from start to continuation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't really say, well, boy, them man, they were back in the day, they were disrespectful. They never brought man in, and it was just how it was. You know what I mean? You knew who you knew.
Exactly.
Bottom line, you knew who you knew. And at the end of the day, it was never a case of, well, I can go reach out to my man and pull on his shirt tail and say, hey, yo, I'm a DJ. It wasn't really like that. I don't know whether it was a case of you going in there and saying, look, hello, I'm a DJ kind of thing, or it was the fact that you knew what you knew. New people come around and be like, who are you? Where you come from? Da-da-da-da. So that's what it will be about. It won't be nothing personal. It's just be certain heads. And I understand that. I never understood it. Don't get me wrong. I never understood it before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understood that. You know what I mean? Now that there was a greater issue other than trying to get involved in something. There's a lot more bigger issues for certain people. Certain man will be like, I don't even want no new man around me. You know what I mean? I'm not interested. I'm doing what I'm doing. You do what you're doing, kind of thing. And that's what it was all about, pretty much. It was never okay.
Also think it was about the location as well, because people didn't want people to find out where that location was. Too much word of mouth, people getting shut down.
Exactly. I mean, side note, I met Freak FM that way.
Yeah.
On a street somewhere in Islington. You know what I mean? I can't remember the street name, but it was just so COVID. It was so covert.
Covert, yeah.
It was, that's the word. It was like that, to be fair, because that's the way it was. Can't argue with it.
No. That's just the ruling. That was the rules.
Yeah, that was the rules.
It wasn't personal. You could be. It didn't matter who you was. I was saying this to the guy that runs the station with me, Styler. Big up, Styler.
Big up, Styler, man. Big up.
We were saying, like, you had to fight for this. You know, I didn't get on there. Like, when I went into the production of Garage, it weren't until I made a tune. I'm going to go into that. I could bounce off of radio stations. You know what I mean? I was on Mac FM, I was on Hectic, I was on Flair, you know, the endless pirate radio stations. But that's just because at the time that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they got a bit freer, you know, this and that. So now I'm going to ask you, Fig. So how did you get to know CKP? The mayor. The mayor.
Do you know what? Look, but
that's such a good name.
Yeah, look, he had CK came into us. We were doing our thing. It's like what I was saying earlier. We do our thing. We thought, look, at the end of the day, it's what it was. We do tapes, or we push the tapes out there.
How do you know him?
I've known him from. It was inadvertently, to be fair, because he went to school in Willesden.
Did he?
Yeah, he went to school in Willesden, and I forget the name of the school he went to, but he went to school there. And of course, I think him and Neat went to school together. Yeah,
right. I know Neat's from around them areas.
Yeah, that's right. Neat would obviously with Luck and Dempsey. It's a whole.
There's another thing that we were speaking about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. All right. So, CK basically heard us. Now, I moved at the time. Our crew was the Rolling Dimension,
right?
And
who was part of
that? Right, myself, Groovy Nookie, Pedro. Who else? Yeah, Specie. Who else have I forgot? Oh yeah, Borderline L, and Fats.
Right.
We were the Rolling Dimension crew, and we did tapes in it. Every Saturday night we'd be at home. Oh, sorry, no, let me phrase that. Some Saturday nights we'd be at home. If it get to the stage where we ain't got no money, we'd be like, all right, cool. You know what? Let's just go and just chill around my cousin's house, and we would just play music Saturday night till Sunday morning. And that's how we do it. And that's how we churn out our tapes. That's how we do our tapes. There's been a few times where CK's come round and we sit in there, we've got drink, any form of whatever you like to do on a social thing that you would have. You know what I mean? So have all of that there. I'll be playing music. Listen, I'd literally be playing music. If they got to the stage where, especially L and all them lot was bored of playing, they don't want to play because they get too drunk and they don't want to play music. And I was the the slightly level-headed one, which didn't do what they did, but I could still play music. So I was playing music until God knows what time I was playing, for like 7-8 hours. You know what I mean? So it was what we did. Of course, the tapes picked up. CK heard through, I think, because he used to move around with Probe, DJ Probe, and a couple of MCs, MC Deadly, and I can't remember the other youth's name. Shout out to Probe though. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. He was moving kind of pretty much around him. A mutual friend of ours, my Caucasian dapper, big up Paulie, he knew CK through other circles. And he said to us, he said, yo, listen, I got this MC. He's wicked enough. He's all that. So I said, oh, okay, we'll bring him round, innit? So eventually, after weeks of hearing, he coming round and this, that, the third, he eventually makes it. And he come round and basically introduced us, and it was it. This what he did, and that was it, really. That was it. He come round, he'd be round there. If he ain't doing nothing, he'll come round, he'll bring drinks and all the rest of it, and we'd sit down, he'd do his thing, and we'll play, like, we'll have the big TV on, and Mario Kart or Mortal Kombat or one of them games they will be on. You know what I mean? So whilst we sit there listening to music and all of that, you know what I mean? We play games as well. So it was just that Saturday night indoors, which probably I think a lot of people are probably doing that now, even in this pandemic thing. But back then, that's what it was. So and he was around. He did he did tapes with all of us, and then we then decided that, you know what I mean, because I was still trying to push tapes out. So we then decided to say that we need to kind of push this further. You know what I mean? And see what's going on. It wasn't something that we discussed really. It was something that in my head I was like, yo, you know what? I need to really do some work here and just get this out of it and start linking a few men and see what's going on. Now he was doing it on his side. He was going to various clubs by himself and hanging around various people, and he'd be one of them MCs in the crowd, and he'd be MCing in the crowd, and people would be surrounding him, kind of thing. That's how he got his shine a little. You know what I mean? So the two of us, we're trying to get the same kind of buzz, same kind of thing going, and this is what it was. This is what it was really. It was two people doing exactly what they love and just pushing everything out and let other people hear. Because by then, most of the Northwest 10 knew of us. You know what I mean? So that's what it was, and that's what we was doing.
I didn't realise it'd been around for a while, because I knew, not being naive or nothing, man. I thought he was only a garage MC, but it was only like maybe like 10 years back or maybe 8 years back that I realised it'd been around for a while, man. A long while.
He has.
And this is the thing.
I think what people don't understand. I think people don't understand the levels with him. I knew what he was capable. I knew what he can do. And I think for people, it was CK is a natural at just spitting bars and doing them kind of things. He just rolls off the tongue, and he'll off the top of the head, he get a little bit wrong, but back then he was still trying, and I'm sure that he did him, and he's gone clear now. But this is what it is. This is how we started. That's how we practice these skills. Huh?
Yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. He worked.
Because you don't just go overnight.
Nah.
Same with DJing. You can go and buy yourself a Technics, never DJ'd on them, and you won't. You got to learn. So it doesn't matter if you mess up.
Yeah, but you've got to be able to look. I could DJ on anything, and that's word. I'm not even trying to blow my own trumpet.
No.
I can DJ on any equipment, whether it's turntables, without pitch control and all the rest of it. You could, because there were times where there was DJ, there was things without no pitch control, and we used to work with that. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's why
I tell you what, there was a little pitch control on my stepdad's turntable, his Technics turntables, he had the original 12. He was
You had
more
the
direct
wind button at
drives.
the top.
Huh?
You had that pitch control that you like that.
Yeah, but no, it was like a little. It was like a. How could I put it? It on the actual. You know, you got stop, then you got stop start, and then you've got Q where you can lift up your wherever. Next door to that, there was a little like thingy that you can turn up and turn down. That was your pitch control. It wasn't as good as what it is today, but that was your pitch control then. But look, like I said, it was. We can DJ anything back then because we had to, and that was what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't really decided. It wasn't something that you can say, well, you know what, we need the sync button to kind of control this, and none of that. None of that. I got my thing. I got my my vibe like that from Mastermind. You know what I mean? Mastermind back in the day. The Mastermind back in the day for me. They were the mecca for me.
Yeah.
Because all the mixes that I heard and what they put together were creative, more artistry, more than anything. Yeah. And that has stayed with me, and that's how I played my music, with more of not just putting two tunes together, make the tune sound collectively like a one tune. You know what I mean? And Mastermind used to do that back in the day. They used to have their thing will be there's a tune called Destiny back in the day for 80s babies. All those 80 people that you listen to, there's a tune called Destiny. Destiny. You are my destiny. Now, Mastermind, you might look at it. It's Destiny. 80s tune, soul tune, Destiny. You see.
I think I've got that here.
Oh, but yeah. Well, there you go. Mastermind used to take things like The Sound of Music. Like, you know, you got the actual album of the Sound of Music. And used to mix with that. You know what I mean? It would what was the other one that they the song with and they take various old films that's on vinyl and they mix it and they scratch it and they do all of that. That's what they used to do. And that's what caught me the bug of actually doing this. I think DJing is not the fact that you just mix two tunes together. You've got to have the creativity to when you mix it's not too chaotic. It's just seamstress or seamless, if you like. And that's what I was about.
So what you just said right there is I'd say this for a lot of people. When you're DJing, it's all right to get a tune, find another tune, find another tune, find another tune. But I think if you're DJing, you need to tell a story. Now you can be the best DJ in the world, and you can throw one good tune that will clear a dance floor. I've done it myself.
Yeah.
I've had people on one of my live feeds. I've had like 200 people on there. I've put on one tune, bang, 50 people, 150 people gone.
I think it's all just okay. I mean, I know I talk about the artistry and the creative side of it. There's also the actually knowing your surroundings bit. If you are in a club and you are playing a certain tune, these people want to get out. They want to have a drink. They want to have a laugh. They want to rave. They want to do all that. So you're not. I mean, this was my thing. And of course, shout out to the DJs who want to create new artists, who want to bust new artists. All this. It's all good. It's all good. But
you need that.
Yeah, you do need that. Of course, you need that. 100%. But again, it's for me. It was always been about being aware of my surroundings. So if I know there's a particular crew that's out there that want to hear garage, decent garage, I'm gonna give them bangers because I know that's what they come out for. Regardless if I played or if it's one of them tunes where there are so many people are playing it and people and DJs are like, no, I don't want to play that. Too many DJs are playing that. No, play it because for the simple reason is they like it. That's what I like. That's what I'm about. I'm always about the element of being a DJ. That is definitely part of the element. Do you know what I mean? So for me, when people talk about, I don't want to play that tune there, that tune is it just gets played that every DJ's playing it. No, the reason why every DJ's playing it because the DJs know that they like it.
Floor filler.
It's for them after all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get them what they come out for. That's my thing. That's my thing. Like I said, it's a. I suppose DJing is a different. It's like generations, isn't it? It's different.
Yeah.
A different generation of DJs at any given stage.
So your brother, yeah. So did you get him into DJing?
Nah, I thought that was just he followed suit. Basically, I thought that you talk about what SK, yeah? Shout out to SK, yeah, big up yourself.
Yeah, big up SK, out to Dizzy as well.
Absolutely.
Out to the Bournemouth crew.
Out to Bournemouth, of course. Yeah, it's, you know what? It's music is, like I said, it's been in the family. I can't even say that he follows suit. To be fair, I can't even say, well, I want to be like you. No, they don't want to be nothing like me. That was them back in the day. But SK was just more, or Richard was more.
Yeah.
Of his, you know, he liked his music. He did his thing. He did what he was doing. And my brother, the same. My other brother Martin, the same thing. He did the same thing as well. They've all got their different side of how they got to where they've got to. You know what I mean? So, in fact, my stepdad is his real dad. You understand? Right. So we both almost cut from the same cloth, musically anyway. You know what I mean? Because of the one person.
Yeah, definitely. That's you know, that's when it's sort of when you're growing up in like your family, music will always have that thing on you.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It will always do something for you. You know, you'll either be into it or you won't.
Yeah. I thought the fact that I was into it anyway. It was inevitable. You know
that's the thing. You know, I come from a family of 7. You know, including my mum and dad. You know, it was drummed into me, and I'm the youngest, so it was drummed into me. Whether it was, you know, I was banished a lot on a Sunday night to Queen, constantly Queen, because my dad was an avid Queen.
I like Queen. You stay there. I like Queen.
But I'm just like, as a rule, then like my brother, like, he was into UB40. My sister was in the New Romantic. Yeah. So it all the drummers come hitting me, place pound, you know. But then I chose the option to go to hip hop and listen to the early hip hop, the electros and stuff. So it swung me over that way because I didn't want to listen to that no more. So, but that's another time. Today's jungle.
Yeah.
What do you reckon of it?
Jungle. Oh, wow. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about the state of the music, or the state of the surrounding the music? What are we talking about?
And jungle itself. What do you make? What do you make of New Jungle? Like
New Jungle's fire.
Now pushed on.
New Jungle's fire. Love the New Jungle.
That's what I think.
Love what they do with it. Love what they do with it. It keeps, aside all the nonsense that's going, what's surrounding it, they've still managed to keep. Yeah, but all right, okay. For me, it's jungle.
Yeah,
bright lights, jungle. Anything else after that?
They're the roots.
Yeah, that's it. We're above that. So as far as I'm concerned, it's jungle. But for those, shout out to all the producers and everything. They still managed to still keep the vibe, and bring that heat still, just like back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wish there was a lot more respect with all of that. But that's a different thing. For me, I hate the term drum and bass. I'll explain. Drum and bass for me, it's something that we are actually doing. We are playing drum and bass. You know what I mean? Back in the day, when proper sound system, we talking, you know this, proper sound system, they won't look at something like that as they won't call drum and bass thing as a genre. It's not a genre. It's what we're playing. There's drums and then there's bass. Yeah, someone's on there playing his bass, and someone licking the drum. It's drum and bass. Listen to the rhythm of the drum and the bass, and that's what it was. Now jungle's coming along and it's done his thing and it's flourishing, it's all good. And then all of a sudden it's changed from jungle to drum and bass. I'm like, why has it done that? I don't think there was no real explanation other than the stuff that's online. But I'm not. That's not good enough for me, because my whole situation with that. It's a case of jungle started off with somewhere. We should be able to work off that term jungle to where it's come from.
Yeah.
We have to know where we're going. We have to know where we come from in order to know where we're going with all of this.
Exactly.
House, for example. House, you've got Detroit house, deep house, tech house, every form of house you can think of. But
hip house.
Hip house. Hip house. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Fast Steady and all them kind of tuned in. Yeah. Forgot all about that. House. Still house for me. And it's disappointing that, and I'll be real. I mean, I'll probably get some flack for this, but I'm giving monkeys.
No, you won't, because I've asked you a question, so you're not going to get some flack for it.
Yeah,
you know,
no. But
saying.
No, but I think we're people kind of, I think people are so now programmed into using the terms drum and bass that it's too late to even forget. It's too late to even try to change that. You know what I mean? But I'm fighting for me on my own. Say, look, whatever happens, I'm playing jungle. I'm not talking about drum and bass. I'm talking about jungle, because that's where it comes from. It's like people have kind of forget all the hard work that the likes of Kemet, Paul Ibiza, Lenny the Ice, all of these artists, it's almost like they're almost forgotten about.
They're brushed aside.
And if it wasn't for the fact that actually still currently active, they would just be pushed to the side and done. And it's not really. Don't get me wrong. People are like, no, I'm not going to do that. I remember that, but that's what's happening. We go to Mixcloud. And I regularly use Mixcloud, and I type in what I play, because I play jungle, right? Don't get me wrong, I play everything, but mostly if I'm doing something, I want to put jungle on. I try to then look for the genre list. You know, you've got disco, you've got house, you've got reggae, you've got soul, you've got all this. No jungle. No jungle. There's nothing written in here to say the genre is jungle. And I'm like, screw that. They've got drum and bass there, and I'm supposed to click that? So no.
Yeah.
I don't want, you know what? I'm like, I'm not, there's nothing there to look, maybe it's none of my business. Maybe the fact that the guys did actually invent jungle is like, nah, I don't care. Well, you call it what you like. You can call it a spade if you like. You know what I mean? You can call it an apple. You know what I mean? Just as long as, you know, it's what it is. But I'm like, no, hang about. No. It's from the start. When house was created, everybody left it house. Everybody knew what it was. It was house.
You didn't call it house space, did you? Or house?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah, and so what you find is people who are, that's why we're not known. Because people all over the world, I mean, don't get me wrong, you got likes of some parts of USA are hip to jungle and all this. But it wasn't before. Houses just spread like wildfire. Jungle, just little creeps, little bit to get to the world masses. You know what I mean? And when it did get to the world masses, it was drum and bass. So it's like, really? Where are we going with this? And no one ain't really speaking up and saying anything about it. So it's kind of disappointing.
I think there's a few people that are sort of like that at the moment. There's quite. I've seen this on a couple of people's posts that there is quite a divide.
Christian's perspective. Shout out to him. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to create any animosity within this thing, but I just think there's all right. We call it what it is. Yeah, we just want something that we can call our own, and the point is, and the reason why we're not getting anything called our own, because it's not been recognized, it's not been documented. Jungle is not even a genre for Mixcloud, SoundCloud, or any other different music platforms. It's not a genre. It's like it doesn't exist. So he's there to say, look, you know what? I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards no white, no black. There's nothing. I'm just saying we're trying to build something that we actually had and bring it back to 2020. So I agree with what Chris Introspective is talking about. Yeah. And the haters should really think about it, because it's not trying to hate. It's trying to build up something that we're trying to build up something that we created. And once more, the thing that we're trying to tear away from, we're trying to pull back and say, look, you know what I mean? You're going to cover it cover our whole genre, jungle, and call it drum and bass. So jungle gets written out of the scene. No, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep jungle alive. That's why I have my thing jungle in HD, because although people may look at it as drum and bass, I call it jungle 100% because it's where it's come from. I know where it's come from.
You know, and if we touch down on that, you know, I was touching down on the jungle thing. If it wasn't for the reggae inspiration, there would be no jungle. And you know, fair play to big up Paul Ibiza, man. Fair play to the whole of Tottenham, because Tottenham, if it weren't for like big up Mark Ranger Kemet, Rev MC, Congo Natty, you know, Paul Ibiza, you know, Rent Records. The story can, if you didn't have these guys.
See, Rent Records is the next thing. Rent Records, they were so under the radar. It's just so unreal. I can't believe. Rent Records. I'll tell you something else. Yeah, Rent Records was responsible for one of the largest jungle tunes on the planet. You know what I mean?
And also, there's another group
doesn't even get mentioned. What's that
all
about?
And another group that don't get mentioned, and they're going to come on here in a couple of weeks' time, is the Good, Too Bad, and the Ugly. They never get a mention. Never. And it's just like, come on, man. These guys are like, these guys are the forefront.
The Good, Too Bad, and the Ugly was on Rough Cut Records.
Exactly.
If I remember rightly, you understand? And they were part. Rough Cut Records is the same label as Information Center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
one of the biggest tunes.
They paved the way. You know what I mean? So no, shout to Too Bad and Too Ugly or whatever.
The Good, Too Bad, the Ugly. They're going to be on this too. Yeah. I've got these guys coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just seeing someone's put Steve Hyper in the place. You know what? Steve Hyper in the place. Wild times. Yeah.
You know what? Rest in peace, Steve Hyper D.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Jungle MC ever.
Absolutely. I wonder how we would feel about this whole. See, I actually often think about it. I wonder how we would feel if he's seen the state of this scene at the minute. You know what I mean? Because he reps for jungle standard. You know what I mean?
Mate,
how he feels about this.
Mate, he was on a different level. This guy, I'm stumbling for words because he would absolutely rip any MC to smithereens.
Absolutely.
And any MC out there will tell you the same.
I remember I was in all this brother. It was telepathy I went to, and because he used to be up in Waterden Lane. Yeah. Is it E9 or E5? One of them something there. So
E5.
Yeah, E5. You're right, E5. And and it was the brother rolled over music. It was it was almost like the tune. It was almost like it was part of the tune. You know what I mean? He gave for me. Stevie Hyper gave the people them what he wanted, and I'll always remember that. That's the thing I would always remember going to, and one of the people that actually see him live to do it. I'm so grateful for that. So
you know what? He's almost like a toaster, like they used to say back in the reggae days. You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. To be fair, literally with he had the reggae influence in, and that's what it was. And a lot of it is about that. Every one of them has got the reggae influence in it. Every single one of them, me included, love reggae. You understand? And that's how it was. But then that's what I'm saying about the creativity of certain people and they're not getting recognised. This is the problem that I have. This is the problem I have. So now, it's like we did all the hard work for them not to take all the glory. I'm like, come on, man, come on.
Yeah, it's
not good. It's not good. And for me, I was always at jungle. I don't call it drum and bass. I call it jungle or intelligent jungle. That's what it used to be.
One's jungle and the other one's drum and bass. It's not jungle stroke drum and bass.
But where you come from? Where's it come from? Where's it come from?
Exactly.
That's my thing. Where's it come from? I call it jungle for what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, if you think about it, drum and bass is a subgenre from jungle.
It's not genre. It's drum and bass. Yeah, but that's like the term.
It's a subgenre from jungle because if you think about it, jungle was their first.
Oh yeah,
thing.
But that's what it is. But then you could all right. But then intelligent jungle is something like that as well. So you got intelligent jungle, you got vocal jungle, you got ragga jungle. There's all part of it. but the jungle name is still there. So we can be able to say, you know what? Jungle. You know what I mean? Which at the end of the day, Kemet, Ibiza, them man that you just named can get their respects and get their shout.
Yeah, I think
only certain heads will know. Only certain heads will know, and there's certain heads will know are DJs. You understand that part there?
Yeah.
Real people don't know about it. People can tell you about Eric Murillo because he's from the house area.
Yeah.
They'll tell you about that. They need to be able to tell you about the likes of Kemet because he was almost one of the founders of Jungle.
Well, it was him. I think it was between them and Third Party, and we did miss out Third Party. So got to big up Terry too.
Terry too.
And them boys on there. Redskins as well.
Redskins, and they shout to them lot. They got shit coming out as well. Excuse my language.
Yeah,
stuff coming out.
Well, Kemet's really done something with them, ain't they? So Neil Redskin, big up, man. Big up, Neil.
Big up Neil. Yeah, big up Neil, man. Fantastic.
So it's good to see some of that lot get repressed up and stuff, you know, and the jungle pushing back, the old school jungle pushing back through.
Yeah. I urge. I'm glad that I've actually got this platform, to be fair, because I urge everybody to kind of have that thought in mind. It's not a case of who laid the egg, who laid the chicken. It's not a case of that.
No,
it's a case of knowing fully well the facts are. Jungle was its presence back then. You know what I mean? And we still should, 2020, keep the same presence of jungle in mind. Forget the term drum and bass, man. Drum and bass.
I'm gonna say on that. People need to look at the interview with Paul Ibiza. Find it online and have a watch of it because it educated me a lot, man, of why he named it Jungle. And I'm not gonna go into the spiel because I already know it. So if you want to know about Jungle,
you know what? Like I said, remember that I said at the top of this thing, it's the individuality, it's the individual at the time, and that's how it is. You know what I mean? So whereas a man could think about something and he's thought about something and made it something. Do you understand? What he's for? It's all part. It's not even part of the culture. I say it's part of how the man they used to move back in the day, what they suffer from back in the day. Yeah. Hey, what's it? Jungle said, I'm just reading this now. Jungle got moody. D&B was evolution of good music and bad dance floors when D&B was born. Oh Lord.
Right, big up, Fozzy, man. I agree to a certain extent. It went a bit. It did go a bit crazy at one point.
You see, that's probably why people have this thing about. You see, that's what I'm saying. People have this thing where Jungle got moody. Now, I'm taking my man's word for it, right? He said Jungle got moody.
It might be different areas of the country.
Yeah, but Jungle just didn't get moody. It got a little bit serious. It got a little bit serious. You know what I mean? But then people start to distance themselves away from it. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting at.
And that's what it is. It again, it is what it is. People start to distance themselves away from it, including what I saw. I saw one CD tape thing. I forget what's called, Strictly Underground or something. And at the back of this thing, he had a big old speech. It said, blah 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 blah. He said, yeah, we played the best in Strictly intelligent
drum and bass or whatever.
Drum and bass. And then he went around and he said, with no jungle in it. So I'm like, like what? Are you what? And he actually, I should have really brought this up when I was coming, but he actually said, we're doing something with the drum and bass vibe with no jungle in it. That's what he said on the back of this CD. So now I'm like, okay, let me see what he was referring to. Why is he not calling it jungle? So I listened to one of the tracks off the CD, innit? Guess what? It was jungle. And I'm like, really?
Right.
What? Because what would you? That's what I'm saying. I think people get it screwed because the jungle. It's not what it says or what it's supposed to do. It's the art of. It's how it felt. That's what it was. That's why it was created, because of a feeling. It weren't created because somebody decided to say, let me just think of this. I need to think of a name to call this. No, they felt it was a feeling for them, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all these other people want to turn that feeling into something robotic. Come on. Come on, man. It's not good enough. Not good enough. Not having it. Not having it. Not having it. You know what I mean?
Maddex,
not having it.
Right.
That's what
There's a question on it. It's like, where can people find your platform?
Yeah, people find my platform. I'm on Spotlight Radio at the minute, which is a reggae and soul station every Friday, 8 to 10 Friday night. I'm also doing a recording shop. I'm gonna have to keep that quiet, but because obviously I'm not gonna be here. But I will be on there each and every Friday, 8 to 10, doing Spotlight Radio. Right? That's on the TuneIn app. You can look at the TuneIn app, and on the TuneIn app, I would put it on my Facebook page. I'll be doing that anyway, so you can see what it is when you go on the TuneIn app. Other than that, I've got the Mixcloud. You go to DJ Maddex Mixcloud, just type in the DJ Maddex as usual, and you go into Mixcloud and you see all my stuff there, just right there. Also got SoundCloud as well.
Didn't you say you was doing a regular show on Upfront?
Sorry, I just thought I had somebody say I was doing a regular show on Upfront. Is that what?
Right, one second.
If that's the case, do you know what? If that's the case, I'd love to. I've said it. I've said it. I've been saying it. Yeah, you know, I've been saying it, and I've got the tools to do it now. I didn't have the tools to do it then, but I've got the tools to do it now. So
right.
I'm good.
Yeah? I'll contact you about that. So listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go in a second because I know you've got to jet off. But
you know what? I had so much fun. It was great.
Listen, favourite jungle tune?
Favourite jungle tune? Oh, my Lord. Favourite jungle tune? I don't know. You can't
Come
put me
on.
in a spot like that, man.
I can.
Favourite jungle tune. Favourite jungle tune. Favourite jungle tune. There's so many. There's Going At It by Sedzi. Shout out to Sedzi and the Flex Record crew. Oh, man. There's more music. Yeah, shout out to DJ Ron. Oh man. Oh, come on. I can't think. I really cannot.
All right.
Think.
One more before you go. Best rave.
One more.
Best rave. Best rave.
Hey?
Best rave.
Oh, best rave. Oh, Jungle Fever, man. Standard.
Roll Express.
Fever. Yeah,
Roll Express.
Yeah. I actually did. I just quickly. Roll Express kind of brings me back memories. I did what I did to enjoy the experience, and there was a particular tune that came on. It's called "Come Together," like a hardcore tune. Yeah,
big tune.
Yeah, and I was on that. Yeah, I was on that, and it grew. And I was running all around the Roller Express, just running. People thought I was nuts. I'm just constantly running all through these people. That was what I was doing, just running. Mate, it was a it was a weird one. Anyway,
right. Maddex, man, I'm gonna let you go. Big up, mate. I'll speak about the radio. I'll contact you on the weekend, man. Thanks for passing through.
You know what? Salute to everybody tuning in. Thank you.
Maybe a part two.
I think, do you know what? To be fair, because I thought there was a lot more that I need to talk about. It could be a part two, man. Could be a part two.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir,
but I'm here when you're ready. Yeah.
Bless up, sir. Salute. I'll contact you on the weekend.
All right.
Thank you.
One.
Cheers, bro.
I'm going to HD, bro. One. All right. Do I come off? How do I get off?
I'll end it, bro.
Oh, you're going to end it.